Hey guys, so I'm down here in the hog barn and I realized that we have not done an update on the hog barn in this batch for quite a while. And we started actually loading out this batch. So we are now at market weight. And so we're sending pigs out and I thought we better do an update. And I thought we could go find that pig that Heather said that she liked. Remember back at the beginning when we were bringing in pigs? There was a pig that had kind of different coloring on his face. So in the mornings when I walk through here, I see that guy and I think, oh man, we better do an update on that guy before he actually leaves, because we sent a couple loads out of this room already and won't be long before he's gonna be heading out of here. So let's see if we can find him. Bigger than the last time we saw you, right? So to give you some perspective, here's this big guy that Heather was holding. Okay, it's another morning of loading hogs. Last load of the week. But this is the first load into the third barn, and so it's always a little bit extra work to get the first couple loads out because there's more pigs in the pen, so there's more pigs to get the pigs that you want around. So it takes a little bit of effort, but the nice thing is that we only have one load this morning, which is good. We had a couple triples and a double this week, so one load feels nice even though it is the first load out. But yeah, gotta get started somewhere, so let's do it. The truck is already here, so that's great. I felt so bad because yesterday morning we had 3 loads and I was actually out of town, so I had a team here to do the loading and the last truck didn't show up, and they waited around and he finally showed up, I don't know, 40 minutes late or so. But the problem was that they had other commitments and they had to leave. So thanks to Earl and Sarah for finishing up, because everyone else had to leave. And luckily Sarah was here feeding calves, and so she came over because I had asked her if she could check in, and she came through. So Earl and Sarah finished that load. So thanks to Earl and Sarah for coming through in the end and getting that last load on. I'm not sure what else we would have done if it wasn't for them. So thanks guys. It's cold out this morning. We had our first frost this week and certainly had a frost last night because I had to scrape some ice off the truck window this morning. But so we'll see. Sometimes the cold can make it a little difficult to get pigs out the door, especially pigs that are in a all close to each other. When they're the pens are fuller and they like all want to huddle together. I think they just get like warm there, and then when they go out the door, you know, warm skin on a cold breeze is not super attractive. So might be a little extra challenge, but we'll see. Sometimes they move out fine, so hopefully it's one of those mornings. We'll see. All right, so now that we talked about the gear that we wear, let's talk about the tools for loading hogs. And there is 2 essential tools that we need for loading hogs. And the first one is this sort board. You can't load hogs without a sort board. And the reason why is because we have to use tools that pigs respond to. So to move pigs calmly and efficiently, we have to have tools that the pigs recognize and respond to. And like I said before, pigs are stubborn and pigs are strong. And so if the pig decides that they don't want to go somewhere and that's where you need to take them, it becomes difficult. One of the things that pigs respond to more so than waving your hands or yelling is a visual barrier, and that's why the sort board is such an essential piece. This is very different than moving cattle. When you're moving cattle, we can use our hands and our voice to move them around because they're generally scared of that. We can startle them with our voice, or we can kind of wave our hands and they go away from that. Pigs are not like that. Pigs are not afraid of you, and they're not really concerned at all that you might be yelling or waving your hands. If you're trying to take them where they don't want to go, they're not going to go. They're just going to come at you even. But the sort board creates a visual barrier that's something that they respond to. And the big thing about the sort board is making sure that they understand that it is a fixed barrier. So if they push on your board and you fall back some or you slide back some, they'll recognize that barrier is movable. So the big part, especially when you're running the aisle, is making sure that you represent a barrier that they cannot move. And when they feel that, when they feel the resistance, they understand that they can't move it and they turn around and they go the other way, generally. But if the pig understands that they can get past you, they're probably gonna fight you. So the sort board is also a fast extension. So we can use it to reach out and close off a gap or close off an area that we wouldn't have been able to get to just by ourselves. But really, the barrier that you yourself create with your legs and your arms is not enough to stop a pig, because they can see that there's gaps and they can get through there. So that's why the sort board is so effective. We use sort boards. Everybody that's loading pigs has a sort board. We use sort boards not only for loading, but for moving pigs around the barn, for bringing pigs into the barn when they're little. And it's really an effective tool. We can create this visual barrier and we can move them into the space that we need. Come on. The sort board can also be used as a way to reach out and get some pigs going that are ahead of you or in front of some pigs. And so you can reach out, or you can also pull pigs back with the sort board. So sometimes if you can put the board out over top of them, again, the pigs respond to that barrier, so they don't like that there's something coming down on top of them, and so they'll back away because they feel that shadow coming over them. So that's another way that the sort board can be used. So the reason why pigs don't really respond to a lot of physical interaction, to pushing or shoving or even yelling sometimes, is because pigs in general are very rough. they're very rough with each other, they're very rough on me. And so a pig is very used to being pushed around, to hearing loud sounds of a pig next to him screaming for some unknown reason. So that's why we have to use tools that are that create something different than the feel and the sound that they're normally used to feeling and hearing. All right, so I said that there was 2 essential tools, the first being the sort board. The second tool is this tool right here. And I know that this tool, there's lots of controversy about this, but like I said, there are 2 tools that are essential for moving pigs calmly and efficiently. We have a lot of pigs to move, and so it's very important that we can move these pigs efficiently, but it's also very important that we move the pigs calmly. So we have to have tools that the pigs respond to. This is a tool that pigs respond to. So most of the time, you'll see me using this, just tapping them on the back. It's just a way that they know that I'm still back there and that we're gonna keep moving. However, if a pig decides that they do not want to move where I need them to go, we need to encourage them with something that they'll respond to. A small little snap on the back that the pigs respond to. You can push and you can yell, and it will not be enough to move pigs. And in the end, all that happens is the pigs get worked up and you get worked up and everyone gets exhausted. And that's exactly what we don't want to happen. So that's why this tool is such an effective tool. Now, I understand that this is a tool that can be abused. And so like any tool that is powerful, it needs to be respected. And so this tool absolutely needs to be respected. You'll see that we don't ever use this tool in the pens. It's not a place for this in the pen because the pig is not confined. And so it's just a way to get the pigs worked up. So we don't use it in the pen. We only use it when the pigs are in a confined space like the aisle and when they're facing the direction that we need them to go. And then just a small tap on the back or on the bottom keeps them moving down the aisle. So this is not a painful tool, but it is something that they respond to. And I know from experience because I've gotten shocked myself many times loading pigs because often they'll bang into you and the shocker comes up and shocks you in the leg. Or I even had one time where I got shocked in the neck. I was holding my sort board and the pig pushed it up and the thing came back and right in the neck. It's annoying. It's like getting a static shock when someone scuffs their feet across the carpet. It can zap you and it's annoying and it catches your attention, but it's not something that hurts you or is damaging. So that's why this is an effective tool. Pigs are generally unsure of new spaces, and so the hardest place to move pigs is moving them out of a space that they're familiar in. So that's our job, is to get them out of the space that they grew up in, that they lived all their life in, or at least most of their life in, and move them into an unfamiliar place. So that's why we need to have tools that are effective in moving pigs that they respond to, like this tool. Once the pig is out the door, once the pig is on the truck, or once the pig is in the plant, it's a different situation because now the pig is no longer in a familiar place. And so they're not so resistant to move into that new space. But when you're taking them out of the barn, that is a time when we need to often encourage them a little bit with something more than just a tap or a bump. Like I said, pigs are very strong and can be very stubborn. And because of that, can be very, very frustrating. So when you're loading pigs, it takes an extra measure of patience and self-control. You ready for it? All right, that finishes us up for the week. And next week, more loading pigs. But finished up just in time to enjoy another beautiful sunrise.